A first period hat trick. Nearly not enough for the Minnesota Wild, who, as Jeff Goldblum said in Jurassic Park, they just find a way. The Wild 8-1-1 down the stretch into the Olympic break, a break that I think we all agree needed. But hey, got the win 6-5 in OT. Little theatricality, little high wire, high flying act, a lot of popcorn. Let's dive into it as we gear up for tonight's postcast. Wild win 6-5 in OT. You know what time it is.
You are Locked On Wild Postcast, part of Locked On Minnesota on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
The Minnesota Wild pick up a 6-5 overtime win over the Nashville Predators. The Trashville Predators. As Matt Boldy scores a first period hat trick. Vladimir, Tarasenko, and Yakov Trenin are never cooling down. And Jared Spurgeon, oh, captain, my captain, caps it off with the OT winner. As everybody can see, looks like my internet might be fixed. At least is better. Stable. Bueller. We'll work with it. But 8-1-1 down the stretch against a lot of teams in various states of decay. And I think the big thing is that the Wild are just finding ways to get it done. Are there a lot of overtime games? Yes. Are there a lot of goals against? Yes. But here's the other thing that I would like to talk about kind of before we dive into the game. What are your thoughts on this, Alex? I know ideally you'd like to see a lot of 4-1, 5-1 type wins for the Wild here. Honestly, with them a lock for the postseason at this point, I am fine with them having to battle through some adversity in these games and finding ways to rise above it. I think as much as we'd like to see like clean product, and yes, there are some areas that need to get tightened up for sure. I got to give the Wild a ton of credit for finding ways to just get it done on a nightly basis. And that included tonight. They get out to a 2-0 lead. Nashville just refuses to go away. The Predators had the lead a couple of times. Looks like this was maybe going to be one that we talked about. It just kind of got away from the Minnesota Wild, but they kept in it as well. They persevered, and at the end of the night, the Wild found a way to get 2 more points, and they go into the break with a chance to rest some guys up, and now we gear up for a big push in late February.
I agree. This team needed a break, but you're right. When you're facing adversity, you're going to have that in the postseason too. So they're gaining experience right now doing it in the regular season. Of course, you want those, like you said, those 4-1 wins or 5-2, whatever. But they're finding ways to win, and every game it seems is a little bit different, but the result is ending up in a win, and they're getting the depth scoring, which is huge. Vlad Tarasenko had a big goal tonight, so nice to see that. Trenin is playing really well. That's been a great surprise this season. Another goal for him and against his former team, and yeah, it'll be nice for you have it on the topics. The Kremlin, all the Russians can get a nice break, get a tan, go to Florida, and just rest the body while the Wild have a lot of Olympians as well. So it'll be fun to root on everybody. Of course, we want the U.S. to win gold, but we also want to see those Wild players represent and do well for their individual countries as well. So yeah, just I was seeing your tweets, and you're like, yeah, this is the most like game right before the Olympics ever. And just like we talked about on our episode right before this, Roman Josi gets just a giant goal. We called it. He always he always plays well against the Wild. Same with Filip Forsberg. So they were showing out, and good for Jared Spurgeon to get the winner. The captain. He's a very polarizing player for this team, and nice to see him score.
Yeah, I just a lot of confidence from what we have seen from this team over this 8-1-1 stretch, 5 in a row to finish off the pre-Olympic break schedule. The thing that I look at is you found a reliable, consistent third option line that you can, I feel pretty confident about going to once we get to the postseason. I don't see any reason why any portion of the Krem line should be dismantled. I mean, it's clear that while it looks like it is kind of island of misfit toys,
yes,
they clearly have a lot of confidence, and they have produced a lot of results. And so, we're going to have Ek, Johansson, and Boldy as a line. You're going to have Kaprizov, Zuccarello, and whoever comes in here as a center. And I would keep Trenin, Tarasenko, and Yurov together as a line, because then you feel pretty confident having 3 lines, and you are going to have some real good pieces that you can slot in on that fourth line as well. I know we talked about that a little bit on Denny's show last night. You're going to have some pieces you can slot in on the fourth line as well. And this looks, going into the postseason, like an incredibly deep lineup that can beat you multiple ways.
Yeah, Europe is so key. Having another strong option, I think Tarasenko being here in Minnesota is really helping Yurov get comfortable. You've heard that he goes over to their Tarasenko house for dinner, helps him with laundry and getting acclimated into a brand new country. And I think having some fellow countrymen also on his line is allowing him just to not think, just to play. And it's nice to have that development for sure as well for this team. After trading away a lot of young pieces, Yurov was put in the spotlight now, and he's clearly delivering for sure.
I have completely walked back my thoughts on Vladimir Tarasenko because of that exact point that you touched on. Not only is he producing more consistently on the ice, but I think he is one of the driving factors. We do need to give Kirill Kaprizov a lot of credit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I think those two are the main. And let's give Yakov Trenin some credit too, because I'm sure he factors into this as well. But I think those guys are the driving factor as to why Danilo Yurov is playing the way that he is, because they have helped him become comfortable here. Mm-hmm. They have helped him acclimate to life in the NHL and have allowed him to be able to focus on the on ice. They can handle the stuff that goes on off the ice. Mm-hmm. So it has led to a situation where he is just, I think, fully comfortable, and Tarasenko has got to be given full credit for that. In addition to, like we saw tonight, like he gets the goal by just driving straight through UC Saros. Like he just drove him straight into the ice. And that's just kind of the player that he's become with this team.
Yeah, it's huge. It's really, really fun to see. This team is clearly developing chemistry throughout the lineup, like you mentioned, and nice to have that third line. And the bottom six always used to be a worry, and now it's starting to develop here. We'll see if they add a forward, after the Olympic break here and the rosters unfreeze. We saw, I saw in the chat, we saw Panarin go to the Kings for relatively nothing. So I don't know what the Rangers were doing there. So maybe if Trocheck is the target, it'll be cheaper than what people thought.
Artemi Panarin, I want to talk about that for a little bit, because I know that was a target that was potentially linked here. He goes for a pick and a prospect. Liam Greentree was the prospect that went the other way from the Kings. And from what I gathered, Panarin told the Rangers, I'm not going anywhere other than Los Angeles. Seattle had a far better offer from what I've been told.
Mm-hmm.
And they were willing to offer him as much as $14 million a year for up to 4 years for him to go there. And he said no. He wanted to go to LA. This is part of the process that sometimes you have to deal with. And so not only that, but as Urban mentions in the chat, 50% retained. And all the Rangers got was a third round pick that could become a second, and Liam Greentree. That was an unconscionably bad trade for Chris Drury.
Disaster. And he had to do another letter to the fans. It was just, yeah. Wild fans, it could be a lot worse. Try being Rangers or a Devils fan right now. It's it's like their football teams out in New York. It's turning into disaster on the ice as well. And it's yikes. And Panarin. I mean, look. Other than that brief where he got traded to Columbus, look at where he's played: New York, Chicago, and now LA. He always wanted to be in a giant market, and he got his wish. I don't think Seattle, they're a weird team. They don't seem to fully be bought in to win, and he wants to be in the sunshine in LA there, and I get it. He got his extension as well, and so he's set.
Yeah, $11 million a year, and for 2 years, and that look. It's going to make the Kings better for sure, but we're talking like get them into the wild card picture. I clip it. I don't really care. Clip it. I think that turns the Los Angeles Kings into a wild card team. I don't think that turns them into a top 3 in the Pacific.
No,
for as bad as the Pacific is right now, I still think that puts them as maybe a wild card team.
They can be in that mix. Look who's in the wild card mix right there: Utah, San Jose. I mean, LA can be right there. The question with them though is what are you going to get with Darcy Kemper, because he can be all over the place. He's a goalie that is kind of like Bennington, where he can have major meltdowns, and he's been banged up a lot this year. So we'll see. The skeletal remains of Drew Doughty somehow made the Canadian Olympic team. He had no business being on that Canadian Olympic team.
No.
So I don't really trust their back end, but maybe they can be in the mix for the wild card. The last spot in the West always seems to be just a complete chaos of who's going to get it and has to face most likely Colorado.
Yeah, as of this moment. And I like saying this, but also we got to keep in mind that the Avalanche have 4 games in hand. The Wild are within 3. They're within 3 points of the Avalanche at this moment. They are 3 points ahead of the Dallas Stars, who are locked in a absolute fight against the St. Louis Blues, fight of their life, some may say. But as far as the wild card teams go, I mean, Vegas and Edmonton are tied. Cool. They're both deeply flawed. Anaheim is at 63 points, another deeply flawed team. Utah is honestly probably the 4th best team in the West.
Yeah, Nick Schmaltz is on an absolute heater right now. He scored again tonight. He had a hat trick the other night as well. They're an exciting team. They have a young owner, Ryan Smith, who really wants to win, and you see what he did for the basketball team. They made a big trade yesterday as well, so he owns both teams, and he wants, obviously the Jazz are horrendous right now, but he wants both of his teams in the playoffs, and it'd be fun to see Utah make it in their first quote unquote year of existence.
Also, how upset are Timberwolves fans going to be if Bill Guerin beats them to the punch? I know they can't. I know they can't make any trades right now because of the roster freeze, but the Wolves are currently linked to Giannis Antetokounmpo. I was told it's D's, not T's, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Just call him the freak. Just call him the freak.
I guess. So it is. It's going to be a mad fight to the finish, but I don't put any level of trust in the teams from the Pacific. I don't have any faith in any of those teams at this point.
You had that. You put up the screenshot of when they were playing the Wild the other night, the Oilers, and their goaltending with Ingram and Jari. That is a nightmare. If I'm McDavid and Draisaitl, I'm going to Bowman and saying, what are we doing here in that? This isn't going to work for playoff time. Both of them are nightmares.
We've got some good questions cooking up in the chat. So I think just quickly before we pop out for a brief break, I'm going to put up on screen the numbers from tonight, and Alex, we can just talk over it. Wild got jack-o'-lanterned in the face-off circle again tonight. The hope would be that is something that's going to be rectified with a trade before the trade deadline. I know Billy was asked about that, and he said, yeah, it'd be nice to get I found it interesting that he said it'd be nice to get a center. We're looking at getting a center, but if we can't get one that makes sense, maybe we pivot to a wing, which I thought was a comment we'll break down here more a little bit more. And a rare off night for the road penalty kill. They gave up 2 out of 3 power play goals. Other than that, they kept letting it rip. UC Saros doesn't seem like it seems like that is about as exploitable as UC Saros was since he's gone against the Minnesota Wild, and that's just a rare thing to say. He's usually absolutely on his game, and just felt like the Wild picked on him all night.
Yeah, I agree. And Nashville hasn't been great defensively for the past couple of years, right? It's been an absolute nightmare, and they have a lot of these games, right?
Yeah,
we saw it the other night against with the Blues there. So they kind of play helter skelter, offense and defense, and just strange times for that organization. It seems like they basically forced Barry Trotz out, even though they're not saying that publicly. That just screams weird vibes there. They were going to try to find a successor, but he's going to hang on for the entire rest of the season. Who knows with that? But the Wild, they just hung in there, right? Gus was a little off again, but every time Nashville, got back into it, the Wild answered, and you're going to need those types of games because it's going to happen in the postseason, especially if it is Dallas. You're going to have to ride the roller coaster because Dallas is going to score a lot, but there's also could be a game where it's 1-0. You never know. They just can't take stupid penalties, right, against the Dallas Stars. So we'll see if that's the matchup in the end.
Who'd have thought it would come down to that? Who'd have thought that it would come down to not being a penalized team and going up against the Dallas Stars? We got a lot to get to here before we finish tonight. We'll discuss the Hughes Faber pairing, some thoughts about potentially trying a trial separation of that pairing. We'll talk about that, as well as Yakov Trenin, big in his return to Nashville. Jack Hughes, Ryan O'Reilly, Vincent
Nico Hischier.
We got a lot to discuss. Our postcast continues. We just hit 4,200 subs on YouTube.
Thank you, everybody.
20 plus people in the chat
all over the world
now. We got plenty to get to here on tonight's postcast. More coming up right after this here on Locked On Wild. Tonight's postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Folks, it is last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff. The final chance to get in on the action before the NFL season officially comes to a close. and the NHL takes center stage. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you are right in the middle of it with a special offer just in time for the biggest game of the year. Whether you're backing the favorite, currently the Seattle Seahawks, riding with the underdog, the New England Patriots, or building one last same-game parlay, honestly, one of my favorite things to look at as far as parlays go and prop bets for the Super Bowl is the length of the national anthem. And I have been absolutely hosed on this multiple years in a row. If you're singing the national anthem and you decide to repeat the last stanza, that shouldn't count. Sorry, rant over. This is where predictions turn into plays, stats turn into storylines, and every snap feels bigger. It's the perfect way to cap off the season and make the Super Bowl even more exciting from kickoff to the final whistle. If you are a new customer, bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Make it count, because after the Super Bowl, the season is over. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Minnesota Wild win by a score of 6-5 in OT, and 34-14-10 now heading into the All-Star break, Olympic break. The biggest thing, I think, Alex, before we dive into some of the questions, other than Jonas Brodin, this team is fully healthy heading into the Olympic break. The only one recently was Damon Hunt getting just annihilated by
only hockey players, right? Other sports, you stub a toe and you're out a couple weeks. Takes a puck to the throat and is back in it in the next game. Just absolutely nails for the kid from Canada.
John Hines is like, yeah, I think he's going to be fine. In fact, he almost wanted to get back into the game that same night. It's like,
take it easy. You only get one throat.
Psycho.
Yeah.
So that's good. That is a good thing for this Wild team. And when they can get Jonas Brodin back, I think that will help with the goals against. We've seen an uptick in the goals against over the last several weeks. I think a lot of that is due to just the pace that this team is playing at. They have always been a slow it down kind of a team to limit chances. But now that they're playing more of they're playing more of what I like to call a lightning strike. We've talked a lot about the stretch passes and just the quick strike offense that the Wild have played with. By the amount of goals that they have scored, they have the lead quite often, which means that the other team is chasing, firing shots on them. And I think that's part of it, but I do think Jonas Brodin is a big factor as well.
Yeah, he's the number one stopper on the team, right? The shutdown guy that frustrates the McDavid, the Leon Draisaitl's of the world, Jason Robertson, all the big guns in the West there. And it was funny in the chat earlier. I was seeing the comments. People were mentioning that they said that Quinn Hughes is playing hurt. I want to see him not playing hurt. Look at the production that he's doing, quote unquote, playing hurt. It's absolutely amazing. He puts up points in his sleep, just another couple of points, like effortless. It's amazing. But like you said, it's a little bit different style without Brodin out there. But hopefully he gets back to being 100%. It seems like the surgery that he had has been common throughout this team, which is just like a little eye-opening. But hopefully he's ready to go, and he made the smart decision, even though it was really, I'm sure, just agonizing to miss out on the Olympics, because most likely he won't be in the next Olympics. So that's devastating to him. But his goal is to win a Stanley Cup, and so they need him to be 100% ready to go coming out of the break.
I have seen much reaction from Vancouver fans, the jaded ex-lover, as it is, saying that we're going to burn Quinn Hughes to the ground. We're going to grind him into absolute dust, playing him as much as we do, that it's not sustainable. And that once
we heard that when they acquired him too, right? That was the first thing they said, that he just hides during the playoffs, and he was not the problem in Vancouver. He wanted to win, and they just couldn't surround him with good enough players. And some of the guys that they surrounded him were just locker room nightmares. And you had the division between Elias Pettersson and JT Miller, and who knows with JT Miller now. It's just look at what's happening in New York too. It's just an absolute nightmare. He's ruined 2 franchises basically, and Quinn just he wanted to be in a place where he thought he could win, and hopefully the Wild are showing him that right now.
Those Canucks fans that have hopped into the Locked On Wild listening audience because you're fans of Quinn Hughes and you just are excited to see his career continue, we welcome you in with open arms. You are always welcome to stay. We appreciate having you on, and I'm sure it's been a lot of fun to see his career continue. But for those that are just like,
and be happy,
yeah. For those that are just like, he's going to just do the same thing in the postseason. He's going to be too tired. Mind your business.
He won people over even more with the state of hockey, right? That just, people ate that up for sure.
I just like the people who are like, mind your business. Stay out of it. How about the game for Yakov Trenin tonight? He had 7 hits. He scored. He is having I think just a massive bounce back year for the Wild this year. And now that he is a card carrying member of the Kremlin, you look at that $3.75 million that he's making, and honestly, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, he's another guy that's more comfortable. Maybe he was just putting way too much pressure on himself for making the most money that he's made in his career here, and he's just being himself. Hitting everything that comes in his way, and he does have a nice shot when he gets it going, and good on him. Maybe he's going to Moscow on the Hill in St. Paul and having some good meals and celebrating after wins with the rest of the Russians. But good for Yakov, and he wanted to play well against Nashville.
I think I'm going to look it up, but I'm pretty sure he is on pace for what would be a franchise record as far as the hits department go, and I know that's kind of an arbitrary stat, but honestly, right now, he's got 16 points. He's got 4 goals and 12 assists, although I think tonight's goal was number 5 for him.
Yes, number 5.
It was number 5. So he's got 17 points on the season. He has, my God, he already has a career high in hits this season with 282 in 57 games. So he's
a freight train. He runs people over.
Zach Zeman in the chat, everybody. Tell Zach what's up. Let's see here. 282 divided by 57 is 4.95 hits per game. So if we take that, he's on pace. I think he's going to play in like 80 games. That is 395 hits. 395
absolutely nuts. Nuts for the big Russian.
That guy is the BTK killer of hitting people on the ice.
Too good.
Without actually killing people. Like, he's just hitting people on the ice. Metaphorical annihilation, not actual physical annihilation.
I would love if it ever were to happen, a Wild Tampa Stanley Cup, because you would have all those Russians out there. Tampa's got Andrei Vasilevsky and Kucherov, and so it'd be just a reunion with all those guys, and they would just want to both beat each other so much and hit the crap out of each other. And Kucherov is so funny. The other night when Vasilevsky fought Swayman in that outdoor game, and he's like, as soon as I saw Vasi go over there, I knew he was going to beat the wheels off Swayman. Just these Russians, they give the best quotes of all time. So that would be super fun, and it would be the Joe Smith Bowl, because he covered Tampa Bay with all those cup runs, and now is covering the Wild. So that would be fun to for him as well.
My favorite is the fact that the Lightning have a defenseman whose last name is literally disastrous in their lineup, and ever since they put him into the lineup, they've been one of the best defensive teams in the league.
It's crazy. John Cooper's just a wizard, and they were playing without Hedman for a while, and McDonough got hurt, and now they're both kind of back and playing without Cirelli and Point, but they somehow win. How about that suit he wore in that yes, Miami Vice. That was awesome. So that was fun for sure.
The Wild's after Olympic resolution should be just say no to OT.
Yeah. They toys with our emotions when they go to overtime. Just finish in regulation.
I want to get to a couple of things. Let's start by talking about we had a comment in here, a question in regards to are we OT merchants? We are point peddlers right now. Just trying to grab as many points as we possibly can, Zach. And it's just it beats it's funny too, because they say, I'll take away the loser point. The Wild would still be in the top 3 in the Central without the loser point. Vegas would not be in the playoffs right now.
Which would be shocking. They have another move up their sleeve. TJ in the comments said that we don't give Kaprizov enough credit when he scores. Flowers to Kaprizov. It's unbelievable what he's doing, and especially in those overtimes. He is the man. Good for Kirill. I'm sure he's battling through injuries as well, it seems like, and that break will do wonders for him, getting some R&R.
The Vegas Golden Knights have 18 regulation wins in 55 games. That is unconscionably bad.
Their goaltending is horrendous too. It's just as bad as Edmonton. They need to acquire a goalie too. And I don't know what they were thinking with Carter Hart too. Well, he's banged up, but that was not the answer either.
Jack Hughes. Is it a realistic possibility? I know Judd's Hockey Show talked about it today. I know we've covered it at points. What do you think? Is it likely at this point? Is it realistic? I have concerns. He's obviously a very, very talented player. I have some injury concerns. I feel like it's going to cost too much.
I don't think they have the assets. It's kind of what the Timberwolves are kind of running into with Giannis. They don't have enough first round picks with the Wild here. They gave up a lot of the assets that they probably could use, and they used it for his brother instead. That's why I threw Hischiner's Nico's name out there, because I think the cost would be a little bit less, but I don't know. Does Charlie Stramel excite them? They probably want Urov, and I don't know if you want to give up on Urov now that he's starting to blossom a little bit here. Do they want Jesper? Maybe. They have the goalie at BU, who's their goalie of the future. They have Markstrom signed a little bit here. I don't know. I know he's a mess too, but I guess you could try to offer Jesper, but they'd want. When you give up a guy like Hughes, you're wanting somebody near that level. So I don't know. Nico seems more of a realistic op, or Ryan O'Reilly, Trocheck. If Nashville falls off here after the break, we'll see.
I think Bill Guerin's just floating stuff to see who's talking.
Right.
Like, I think he was probably just at Tootsie's with the rest of the GMs again, and his
nothing will top. I'm sure fans, if they know who if they know who Frank the Tank is out there, he's a big Devils fan, and Frank was out for his birthday in Chicago, and the Devils happened to be there, and that's where Jack Hughes broke that wine glass on his hand, and it was the Fleming curse all over again. Jack seems to get these weird injuries on ice too. It seems like he's just got chronic shoulder, injury issue there. Obviously would love to have him, but I just don't know if they have the full assets that New Jersey would want from the Wild.
Ron asked earlier, who is the better fit? Cost aside, who's the better fit, Trocheck or O'Reilly?
I think O'Reilly. I think just in the face-off dot and what he can do on the power play, and defensively, I trust him more than Trocheck, and he's won cups, a cup, and I think he's a Bill Guerin type of player. Trocheck is too, but I think Bill Guerin would love to have him in the room. He holds guys accountable too, and what a journey he's had. Remember just the Buffalo days and crashing his car. Just he's been through a lot. He's matured tremendously. I think he'd be the perfect fit, but Nashville's got to start losing. They can't they can't take teams to overtime because that they get the loser point and they hang around. We want them to start losing without getting any points.
Jack is going to have a lot of groin injuries dating Tate McRae.
One of the best parts of this season was introducing Tate McRae to Seth.
There is going to be at the end of the season, I'll just put this out there for the listeners. I am going to put together a little blooper reel. And the tape, I already have the Tate McRae portion bookmarked.
She caused a little controversy today too, or the other day. She did a promo for the Olympics, supporting USA, and she's from Calgary, and so she got people all fed up there in Calgary. But obviously she's quote unquote dating Jack, so all sorts of controversy her way.
I do think this is probably accurate for a radar. Trocheck is probably the easier deal to get done.
Yeah, well, if the Drury's just giving away Panarin for not much, we'll see. I mean, you can't go wrong. I love Trocheck too. I think our O'Reilly's who would if Bill Guerin had a power ranking on centers, I think O'Reilly would be at the top.
Bill Guerin's going to go up to Chris Drury at the Olympics, and they're going to be in a room, and all of a sudden Bill Guerin's going to do the Bane from Dark Knight Rises and put his hand right here and be like,
yes.
Do you feel in charge?
They're going to find the equivalent of Tootsie's in Milan or some random city in Italy and make an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah, that is 100. It's going to be just some little dive bar, just off of off the main drag. You maybe have to ride a gondola to get to it.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Yeah, we are forgetting as well. Ryan O'Reilly is a former Minnesota Wild legend.
Yes, and Dmitry Orlov, when the Wild pretended they were Chase Bank and were the third-party banker for teams. What a time that was. Like we say, the COVID times, that was the cap crunch times for the Wild with buyouts.
Think about all that the Wild have gone through to get to this point. Zach Parise staying on the ice to try to get Marcus the hat trick.
What are they thinking?
And then, so you talk about some demons being exercised. Zach Parise staying on the ice to try to get Marcus Foligno the hat trick. This year, Marcus Foligno gets the hat trick. Sitting on his hands at the deadline for the last handful of years and getting players like Gus Nyquist going into the grocery store with $2 trying to buy bread and coming away with Gustav Nyquist and Justin Brazeau, and now this year getting Quinn Hughes. Like it feels like there have been some demons that have been exercised by this franchise so far.
Some of those names, like you say, Justin Brazeau, those are names that like we'll always remember. The Ryan Whites of the world, Martin Hansel. Remember, Martin Hansel was supposed to be the stopper of Jonathan Taves. Just over the years, it's been some nightmare moves, at the deadline.
Nick Delorier getting in a fight during the regular season and licking the blood off his face and being like, "Yeah, we are ready for the postseason."
No, disastrous. Stanchion, all sorts of just. We'll never forget some of the moments over the years. Brizgalov, just Mr. Universe. All just names that we'll always remember.
The Marc-Andre Fleury acquisition was worth it for the fact. I don't know why this is the only save that sticks with me that he made as a member of the Minnesota Wild, but the one where he was in a crouch and he jumped up to try to deflect the puck.
One of a kind, an all-time beauty.
Unbelievable. Let's talk about this as well. There was in the chat here asking about Bill asks thoughts about acquiring a big defenseman at the deadline.
Yeah, that could be in the mix there because you just you don't know if Bogosian is gonna get hurt again because it seems like he's been getting hurt really easily. And do they trust the Damon Hunt in the postseason? He's been playing great when he's played in the regular season, but postseason, as we know, is a different animal, and they could be in need for a big defenseman. A guy that comes to mind is obviously if the Kings stay in it, they wouldn't acquire this type of guy or wouldn't acquire him, but a guy like Joel Edmondson, just a big bruiser that can eat minutes. A guy that would be perfect here if St. Louis were to ever come to the Wild for a trade would be Colton Parayko. I've always loved his game. I know he costs a little bit, but that'd be a guy that I would love to see on the Wild.
I think you can easily get, and we're talking about somebody that would play probably third pairing.
Yeah.
You could get a guy for a draft.
There's guys out there
easily.
Yeah.
And I think it wouldn't shock me at all if Billy looks at that after whatever the first move is going to be. I feel like there very easily could be a couple of moves made at the deadline.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we've seen this team. We can't trust them staying healthy. So the more depth you can create, the better there. I'm for it. Somebody said Zach Whitecloud, to see him get moved again. I don't think he would like that. Obviously, he has history playing in the state of Minnesota, playing at Bemidji State. What a story for him too. He's won a cup. So that would be a guy that would fit in well here for sure.
I got to put one of us Hollywood actor guy on the screen here. Quinn Hughes, aka Q-Rod, is the Will Hunting of the NHL. It is so exciting to have something besides dump and chase. I think that's the biggest thing is that this has just been a stylistic change for the Wild. And as I sit here and look at it now, as I live and breathe, the Wild have the third most goals in the Western Conference right now. Third most goals.
Amazing. Do you have that stat about the defenseman scoring too that you said the other night?
Michael Russo has been all over this, but before Quinn Hughes was acquired, the Minnesota Wild were 29th in the league amongst as far as points go for defensemen since number one.
It's amazing. It's franchise changing, right? And it's fun. Minnesota's not is I put a tweet post up on X the other day. I was like, Minnesota's not flyover country for pro sports athletes. They want to come to Minnesota, which is just, it's great to see. And Brock Faber playing with Quinn on a pairing, it's kind of changed his entire season, and good for Brock, and be fun to see him get to 20 goals like we talked about on the other episode.
Let's go back to Zach here. Are we 100% certain another move is coming? Are we okay without a deadline move? Are we forced to make a move at all? Where do we stand? I'll let you go first. Where do we stand as far as the trade deadline after the Olympic break goes?
Yeah, I'd be okay if they don't, but I like I said just a couple minutes ago, you can't trust them with these staying healthy 100%. So It would be nice to make some type of move, even if it's a depth move, getting a bottom six center, at least something to show, because Dallas is going to make moves. Colorado is not satisfied with the way they're playing right now, so they're going to try to go big game hunting, and so you gotta, like we've talked about, there's going to be an arms race in the West here, because this year it seems way open for who's going to be in the Stanley Cup. You look at Florida; they are having a heck of a time staying healthy, and can they three-peat? Who knows? So it just on the West, you have a couple goalies in Colorado who are not 100% proven. This is the most they've ever played, so we'll see if they can have success in the postseason. It just seems kind of wide open there, on the West side.
If we wouldn't have given Kaprizov $17 million, we could have put the chips in next year. Because you would honestly be in this spot. You would you'd be in this exact same spot right now as you are without Kirill Kaprizov. Come on.
And what are you going to do? You're going to let just like Bill Guerin's talked about, you're going to let him walk out the door. That would be, look what happened when they did it with Gaborik. The team turned into an absolute nightmare. They had to do it. He's gonna score. He's gonna get to his almost 50 goals. He's
tied for him and Matt Boldy both are tied for third in the entire NHL as far as goals go. They are 2 back of Connor McDavid. The cap is going up every single year.
Yeah,
we have to stop lamenting the contract.
They have Boldy on a heck of a steal of a contract. They have Vec on a steal of a contract, and so now that the buyouts are gone, it allowed them to pay Kaprizov what he was worth. He's right up there with the McDavids, the Dreisaitl's of the world. You had to do it, and like you said, the cap is continuing to go up. There's new fans of the NHL with the heated rivalry. Hopefully that gets more and more people into the game, and the NFL can continue to increase the salary cap.
I want to go back as far as the trade goes, because I realize I never answered Zach's question. I still feel like the Wild can make additional moves without going crazy and like emptying the cupboard fully. Mm-hmm. It's still a very deep cupboard. Like they've got good prospects to deal. I think the deal that we saw for Panarin probably makes Bill Guerin circle back to Vincent Trocheck, because honestly, with that, you could probably get Trocheck for a mid-level prospect and a mid-pick, maybe a third or a second. I would do that 10 times out of 10.
It's been fun, Carson Lambos. what's going on there? I have no idea. That just it hasn't seemed to work out in Iowa. We talked about it the other night. I think they're in dead last. Like what is going on down there? They seem to can't figure it out. I don't know what's going on.
It's funny because Greg Cronin he's still accomplishing his goal, because when he came in, I remember in his presser that he said his goal is to make it so that the players are ready to play when they come up. And all the guys that have played for the Wilds this year, as far as prospects go, have looked the part. So it's just, I don't
know. They're cursed down there. I know it's maybe you can get a new arena. I don't know. It does. They can't figure it out. I know the goaltending isn't great down there, so that's a huge factor.
The Blues have just tied it up against the Dallas Stars.
People are talking, or in the chat, I see Charlie Stramel getting brought up. He had a hat trick the other day against Mike Tyson, Gavin McKenna, and in Penn State there. So
we got to talk about that too.
Yeah, good for Charlie. If they don't trade him, I think they would at least start him in Iowa. I don't know if you want to put that pressure on him to come up and play. They seem to, when like these types of situations happen, they don't start those players in the NHL like for playoffs. But it's the jump for him from the national development team to Wisconsin was a huge step, and we saw how much he struggled there. And then he got back with his development coach there, Nightingale, Michigan State, and he kind of took off. But going to the NHL as a whole, it's a even bigger jump from college hockey. So I think starting in Iowa for him would be good if he doesn't get moved.
Yeah, I think we've seen so many of these prospects have their third year of their ELC burned.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they will do that with Stramel, but I think what they would elect to do is utilize that 9-game and maybe play him in a fourth line role and just see
rest some guys if a spot is locked up. I get that. Yeah, I don't think they'd play him in the playoffs, but you're right, in the regular season.
It depends. It depends too. If Michigan State's a very good team this year.
Yeah.
We expect that they will probably make it through a good portion of the NCAA tournament.
We'll see. I mean, last year they lost in the first round against Cornell, so that was the biggest upset of the college hockey tournament last year. Trey Augustine is amazing in that he has been. But we'll see if they can. They're a little bit better than they were last year because they've gotten Martone out there and Lindstrom. So they've, gotten a little bit more NHL level talent, but we'll see. The hope is for their sake that they end up in Vegas for the Frozen Four.
Well, excuse me, but
it was, the smart guys, Cornell beat them. Yeah, it was just a gigantic shock.
Andy Bernard.
Yes.
I just know the dates for the Frozen, the Frozen face-off are April 9th and 11th.
Yep.
So if they did make it all the way to the championship game, they would play on the 11th of April, which would leave 2 games left in the regular season.
Then, I mean, I don't know if he's, he'd be tired. I'm sure he'd want to celebrate with his teammates if they were to win a national title.
So we'll see. But again, that's assuming that he stays.
Yes, I mean, he might be the top guy that Guerin would give up in a trade.
You've got Stramel, you've got Riley Heidt, you've got Rasmus Kumpelainen, who I think is going to be an attractive piece. Carson Lambos, Kyle Masters, Aaron Kiviharu if you need to. They've got Ryder Ritchie. They've got some pieces.
The college hockey guys,
if they need to. In addition to the picks, and they're going to they're going to have plenty of pieces that they can deal if they need to. Again, Hunter Haight, thank you. I was trying to think of thank you,
the
Terry.
double H. Yeah.
I was trying to think of there was one other name. I was like,
thanks, Terry.
What is happening here? My brain is just mush. But yeah,
hopefully Jesper's okay. I don't, it wasn't he kind of sick still.
Same bug that Foligno had. 4 people at my work have all had this same thing. Dallas,
of course. Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Dallas wins it in regulation too, but that's just the kind of year that the Blues have had.
They want to be done with Bennington. Yeah.
By the way, the St. Louis Blues are looking for the equivalent of 3 top 15 pieces for Robert Thomas. Good luck.
Yes, it's anytime I hear his name, I always think of the singer Rob Thomas. So it's, yes, good luck. I don't know if they're gonna get that with that demanding of an asking price.
The Oklahoma City Thunder have like 19 first-round picks, so just factor some of those in, and he can go play in Dallas.
Yeah.
Thanks for nothing, Jamie Benn.
Yes.
I think that's about all I have. We've been going about an hour, but
yeah, you wanted to talk about Gavin McKenna.
Yes,
what a crazy story that is.
So as far as I gather in the news gathering that I've done on this situation is a group of players was out celebrating, and some guy came up and was calling his mom derogatory things, and he snapped. That's what I gather is he decked the guy and ended up with a broken
2 punches.
jaw. Obviously very serious charges, but that is what we know.
Yeah.
As of right now, I mean, like
just terrible timing for the kid, and Penn State's their top 5 team, and you wonder how this affects his future. I think he has a court date next week. So they're off this weekend. I checked their schedule, so thankfully for the Penn State team, while he doesn't miss any games this weekend, but we'll see. They play Michigan the following weekend, so we'll see if Penn State suspends them, or if
I would imagine
Big Ten does, or just while he gets his legal situation figured out.
I would imagine the team will suspend him until the process has played itself out.
Yes.
So.
And there's all sorts of legal situations. They were in a bar. He's 18 years old, so who knows if the bar is gonna get in trouble too. And it sounded like the kid had corrective surgery, whatever that all means. So they had to put his face back together. So that even if some charges get dropped, I'm sure there's going to be a civil suit coming Gavin's way too. So we'll see if it affects his draft stock at all, or we'll see if he pleads or what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot that still has to be figured out with that situation. So we'll keep an eye on it, but just a crazy situation for Gavin McKenna. And yeah, like you said, Alex, he's got a court date coming up, so we'll withhold any further commentary on it until that has happened.
Yep.
So, all right, let's. I think time to wrap up, and
thanks everybody.
Let's give a big shout out to Zach in the chat. I had Jack Hughes on the brain. I almost said Jack.
We had Zach join. Josh Broughton, our West Coast, Minnesota sports fan out there in San Diego, supporting us. So thanks, Josh, as well, and Zach, and everybody for the questions. Appreciate all your support.
4,200 subs on YouTube. How about that? And we've got some stuff that's going to be cooking throughout the Olympic break. Of course, we're not going to stop with episodes just because the Wild are done. We'll probably have it be more Olympic centric, but I am going to I'm going to kind of take a look at where everybody's at as far as production goes over the next couple of weeks. So we'll mix in a little bit of everything, some Iowa, some Olympics, all the things. The Wild got to the Olympic break healthy, 6-5 OT
Somehow.
win. Yeah. Thank our lucky stars. Not these Dallas Stars. F off, Norm Green. Minnesota Wild wins 6-5 in OT. Make sure to smash that like button before you head out for the night. And we'll catch you tomorrow for another episode of Locked On Wild right here as part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.